Well, welcome back, everybody, to our last Aligning with Success call for 2017. I thought I would kick it off with a little bit of a festive look to sort of engage the season, to be merry and jolly. Anyway, it's been a long year. It's been a long year. It's come and gone very, very quickly. I don't know how you're feeling. I feel like I just took down the Christmas lights and I had to put them all back up again. So it's been quick this year. I guess a lot of travel will do that to you. What I thought would be useful for tonight's call, being the close of our year, 2017, which started off with quite a lot of enthusiasm toward a new idea called Active Wellness Tour. The Active Wellness Tour will continue in 2018, and we'll have more to tour about, because in January 2017, there's my trusty reindeer. I was wondering what happened to my reindeer. Nicely done, Maggie. As I was saying, so 2018 will have more cause for celebration and dissemination of Niken as a business launch, because we're going to be relaunching the Wellness Home in a very powerful way. And so that sort of ties the knot and puts the bow tie on what's been happening over the last the year, this year and the previous year, with respect to the orientation of Niken and our business, to be able to deliver our business as a real business offering. There's the first scheduled. It's always the third week, the third Saturday of the month. So I believe that's the 20th, is when we are scheduling our first Power ABC. And just a reminder, if you want to host an event, we suggest, or a mid-month event, if you're hosting one, we suggest you host it on the third Saturday of the month as a rule. And then you can use the flyers that we've created, called the launch flyers. Ask the upline, most of you guys are launch partners here on this call, how you can get a free flyer created, professional created free flyer for your event. And we suggest on that particular day, the third week of the month, as your guest speaker, you use the photo called the Power ABC. That photo will be the substitute for an actual person, because there will be a group of people on the call, myself, Ben, Bernadette, and a few others that we invite to give you a 30-minute power kick to your event. So if you're hosting an event on that day, depending on what coast you're on, what time zone you're in, you may kick off your event with this powerful ABC Zoom meeting, or you may end your meeting with this powerful ABC. So that'll be the rule and the thumb for 2018. Of course, as I said, for those of you just joining us, we have a bunch of things happening in terms of the relaunch of the Wellness Home and how that's going to come together as a new presentation. It's in development. I mean, it's not an easy presentation to develop, because it's graphically very complex, and trying to get like just simple ideas into something that anybody can sort of understand is not easy. But if this one comes together, this will be a beautiful representation of the entire concept of building an organization to create wellness homes, and the impact that creates in terms of people, planet, and profit. So this one slide will be a real killer. So I wanted to use this last session as an opportunity for each of you. I'm going to invite each of you to signal out one thing, just one thing from 2017 that you gained or you learned from being part of this Niken experience, maybe in particular the Aligning with Success call, something that you learned in 2017 that is a pivotal shift in the way you think or do or operate your Nikken business. Something that, let's say, if this call was going to be the summation of 2017, we're going to have some 20 real nice touch points as to what was an important thing that you gained from this, that if somebody was watching this in the playback, they'd say, oh, that's a great point. I could really use that. I could apply that in my business. So I want you to give some thought to that. And I'm going to come back to this so you do have a chance to give some thought to it. So please do that right now. Give some thought to what that thing's going to be. And what I'm going to suggest with respect to the close of this session, this Aligning with Success, which will resume next year, is that you set some real concrete goals. And we know we in our Nikken business talk about the 5 pillars of health, so I suggest you set goals in each of those pillars: physical, mental, family, society, and finances. And make those goals, a goal has to be something that can be seen and that can be experienced at a certain point in time. So there has to be a date. If the thing is not, if you're not able to describe it in words and it has a date, then it's not a goal. So it should be something that could be described with words as far as what does something look or appear like, or completion of something, and the date associated with that. And then turn that into an affirmation. Now, affirmations are really specific. You start with the affirmation in the affirmative, meaning I am so grateful now that I am blank on or before blank. And so the more vivid that can be in terms of your feelings, what are the real feelings associated with having completed that? So get in touch with those feelings. I am so grateful and excited and enthusiastic and emotional or touched or inspired or whatever, now that I am blank, or now that I have completed blank, or now that I guess that would be the only two, on or before the date blank. And so that becomes your goal in the form of an affirmation that you're going to live with until it's completed. One more piece of this, and that is write it down in something or on something that you can carry with you and carry it with you every single day. And I'm talking about whether it's in your jeans pocket, your jacket pocket, your suit pocket, your purse, wherever it is that you can see it. Put it on your dashboard. Put it somewhere where it's something that happens that you see every single day. I did that this year myself, by the way, and it was an income goal. It was a very big income goal, and I got 78.9, I think, % of the way to the income goal this year. So I don't know what would happen if I had no goal at all, but I had one of those big goals. And so considering I was pretty close to 80% of it happening, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm pretty good about that. It would have been nice to have it hit.
Year's not over, Mike. Year's not over.
That's true. That's true. But that is true. It's not over yet. So, but just think about it. If I had no goal at all, nothing to strive for, then I don't know how creative I would have been in 2017. I don't know if a lot of the ideas that I was inspired to create or to be part of or to initiate or to just support, I don't know if I would have had all of that. I wouldn't know if I'd had all the energy that I had in 2017 to get on the plane and travel as much as I did. So I think a goal does a lot in terms of setting up everything else that it invites into your life, into the way you think and feel about life and the things that you're doing. So I'm very strong about that. Have a goal, put it in the form of an affirmation, and let it inspire you, because that is really the true purpose of the goal. It's not whether you achieve it, it's who you become in the process of striving to achieve it. And I think 2017 for me, for Mike DiMuccio personally, has been a fantastic year. And I think 2018 is going to be even more fantastic, because I've already got goals written for that, and they're even bigger than the 2017 goals. So I just invite you to do that. So let's go around robin here. And I'm just going to go around so where I'm seeing Madeline on my left, and then we'll go to Sue, and then we'll go further that way. I'm just going to ask you if you wouldn't mind giving us a sound bite. So this is going to be to the point, salient point about what was that golden nugget, the thing, if you were going to take from 2017 that you're going to roll into 2018, because that thing matters most to you in terms of what you've learned about how to apply yourself in the business or something about the business. So let's share. Please, Madeline.
I think for me, that role playing with you on the prospecting, the contacting and inviting, the conversation and asking questions. And I love using that one card, both sides, having it in front of me and just asking questions. So
the one card being the why, 5 pillars,
and the whole plan's out
process on the back. Yeah.
Yep. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you for that. Sue.
This year has been very different for us, business-wise, growth-wise, financially-wise. I don't know if I can pinpoint it to just one thing, but for me, I think it's the blending of we got into the big retail thing a couple years ago when it was, retail. And even though I still have a lot of faith in that, I have since like August, I have seen the difference in adding, actually looking for people to be business partners. I feel very fortunate that since August, we've had a new business partner every month. And for me, we're still adding our customers, which I really believe in the retail part of it. But I've gotten a couple really good new consultant people that are working really hard at finding customers, and our volume, it's just made a difference. One of my goals is to qualify as a platinum. We've been platinums for years and we don't ever qualify as platinum, and I see it coming closer. And I think the only way to do that is to both keep the customers coming and keeping them happy, do good customer service, but finding the people to do the business with us also. So I pick and choose who I ask to join the business, but we've had a new business partner join with us every month since August, I think. So
fantastic.
Yeah.
In other words, both oars in the water. Both oars in the water. Row with both oars. Fantastic. Thank you, Sue.
Mm-hmm.
Stanley. What's your golden nugget from 2017?
I can't answer that. My golden nugget from 2017 is this, Michael, that I'm glad to be on these calls, although I don't see a big business. I haven't seen a big business, improvement in my business here. But these calls have been sort of keeping me stimulated to do the work. In a certain, I mean, it's just difficult being back in practice to do this. But I'm still in the game and want to continue to be in the game. And these calls have been very very inspiring to me.
Thank you. Thank you. So, I mean, I'm with you on that. Plugging in and staying plugged in is how we keep the pulse. And I think it's critical. In fact, I would like to suggest to all of you that you invite people to join these calls as part of a rule of thumb. You got business partners if they're plugged in. And if they're not plugged in, you don't know. One of the criticisms I have for recording these calls is that then people, they opt out of not being on the call, that they can watch it at some time, and you don't really get a pulse as to whether they're plugged in. Well, that's kind of the unfortunate part of that, to be able to have a plug and play or a self-service model. But one of the things you could probably do in 2018 a little different is not only invite people, but find out if they're actually watching and share. I usually just, after I record these, post them, I share. So you can share the video to whoever you think you need to share that to, so that they're getting it on their text message or they're getting it on their WhatsApp, and it's there. And then at least you can say, you need to have a look at this, or have you watched this, or give me your, tell me what point you think is the best point out of this call. It's just a way to spread the word. If this is a good tool as a support for building an organization and for keeping people close to the fire, which I think is critical, then that's going to be something you want to practice and duplicate in your group. Thank you for that, Stanley. Michelle Kowalchuk, you're on this side. Wait, this side. That's backwards.
I'm right here.
I'm
on this side in my house.
What's your golden nugget for 2017?
You know what? Absolutely 100% letting go of the fear.
Yeah, good.
Just letting it go and letting go of the outcome. It is what it is. It will be. It is exactly what I am desiring.
Fantastic. So, which is great, because then what happens is you take full responsibility for the outcome, which means, okay, I may not be consciously aware that I'm doing this. I'm creating this result, and I may not be conscious of what it is that in me or about me that's creating this. So, but at least I'm aware that I am creating it. So now I can look at, okay, what adjustments do I need to make, because maybe this is not a great result, or maybe this is not as good a result as I'd like. So I need to make another adjustment here. So it helps us look at ourselves and our level of expectations, in each category of our life. So are we expecting too little? Or are we creating chaos because somehow we're thriving in the idea of problem solving, and problem solving is our nature, and we like to problem solve. So we like to create problems to problem solve, rather than, I would suggest, by the way, if that is your mode of operation, create bigger problems. Just create bigger problems, and then you'll have bigger problems to solve, and hopefully those problems that you solve will be so big that the results will be so big in response to them. So that's another thing, which, by the way, that's going to be kind of what this graph is all about. It's about creating an understanding of the business that you're building and how big a problem it is to solve, and the fact that you're going to need help to solve it.
Oh, that's a good one.
Thanks for that, Michelle. Maggie, what's your golden nugget for 2017?
Well, that was a perfect segue that you made there, Michael, because I think for me, three things. One, the difference between asking someone for help, that's the conversation when I'm recruiting, and seeing if I can help somebody, that's my conversation for customers. And it just is so helpful, it's so clear. And the tools have been immensely helpful, especially the 5 pillars one with the flip side. I use that in every one-on-one to keep me on track and to give people that buy-in of a visual during the conversation. And the third thing, because it's been a challenging year for me, is the importance of the support in NICA, not just on this call, but I know there are so many people who have reached out to me, and I know I can just pick up the phone anytime and not feel isolated, because being a solopreneur can be a little lonely sometimes.
Fantastic. Great points. Nicely done. Thank you, Maggie. Yoko.
Well, I think it's unanimous. Everybody must be, that why card is, to me, poignant. It's clarified my discussion with any person that I even introduce myself to. And I think for me, it's been reflection in the law of attraction. The law of attraction, it has really has centered me, and I feel much more confident. And I think the reflection I have is with everyone here. It's wonderful to be able to feel this, I call it honest, open, and team environment, like Maggie was saying. I mean, because it really is, we're all from different parts of the country and we are not visually in each other's face. But having this once a week, and then the launch partners clarifying to me that it's not just a consultant, that it's a real serious business builder, has really helped me to be able to feel stronger in 2018.
Fantastic. Excellent. Thank you for that. Marianne, what's your golden nugget for 2017?
Yes, I'm here. My nugget is being able to tune into the Nikan community more closely and getting more involved with it as a resource. We've heard for years, oh, well, we're in business by ourselves, but not for ourselves, but not by ourselves. And that's really become true to me. Look at my screen right now and all the resources that we have here, and getting to know everyone better has been extremely valuable to me this year.
Fantastic. Community. Super, super, super important. That's what we're building, after all, in fact, is a community. And hopefully, if we do our job well, this community will continue to grow in size, and there'll be more and more people on these calls. Thank you.
I want to add one more thing. I also appreciate the leaders in Nikan having a common focus this year. That's been, I know it's been a great effort on your part and the other leaders, and want to express my appreciation for that as well.
Wonderful. Thank you. Cheryl, what's your golden nugget for 2017?
For me, I guess the main thing is how the process has simplified. It's just made such clarity in how we're doing things, and the new tools have obviously helped with that. And then with the calls, even though like these calls I can be on Monday nights, launch partners, if I'm working, I can't see it live, is having that option to hear the replay. But taking the golden nuggets from those calls and working with them for the week. Where before I was listening to things and then it was just becoming overwhelming because it was all this information I was just trying to pile on. But if I just sat back, listened to it, take the nuggets from it, and then implement that, work with that, that's been very helpful.
Fantastic. Great advice. Well, I'll tell you, if you're not putting it to work, you don't own it. And you got to own it if you're going to be not only a student of it, but a teacher of it. So very, very good advice. Thanks for that. Barbara.
I can't figure out your rotation, and I like all of our playfulness. Mine's not Christmas, but I had to go here with a little love and sparkle, right? So I love what everybody's saying. I have to nod and agree with everything. Really big for me has been collaboration and community. Felt kind of lost and on my own for a long time, and not trusting in some ways because of what's occurred in different areas. And I love the integrity, the trust, the family. It's genuine. I'm having fun. I'm excited. I'm attracting in different ways. No fear. And the tools are fabulous. And also that I can take from sources and I can now just tell other people, here's what we have to offer, what resonates with you. Take what you resonate with now and don't worry about the rest. So I'm having a really good time, and I want to thank everybody for being there.
Wonderful. Thank you. A lot of votes for collaboration. That's for sure. Thank you. Barb.
First, yeah.
Another elf.
Yes.
That's the one that's missing from the shop right now. So what's your golden nugget for 2017?
Well, it started with your guidance, Mike, in last November when you started building the team for Canada. And then you built on that and you've given us direction and developed the tools that have been absolutely phenomenal. I overcame my fear of presenting with the business because I realized if they weren't interested in the business, there still could be an interest in the product. Mm-hmm. But if you start with the product and they're not interested, you can't offer them the business after that because they won't be interested. the collaboration of meeting with the people online, the calls that are available at different times during the week, and being able to plug new people into those calls. The support there, and for new people to see that we're not all part of one group. We represent many consultants throughout North America and Latin America. So it's not a feeling of competition. It definitely is a feeling of collaboration and teamwork. And to know that we can call on one another. If somebody has expertise in one area and we need that validation potentially for somebody new, that we can call on one another to get that validation. So it's having those resources and the tools that have definitely made my business stronger, and not fearing about presenting with the business.
Fantastic. Excellent, excellent. These are all great nuggets, by the way. This is going to be a great tool as a resource. Suzanne.
Well, one of the sad things about being towards the end is saying yes to everyone else. Tools, collaboration. I think a couple of things that really jumps out at me is the law of attraction, like Yoko said. Knowing that it's about, the language that, and the feeling and being and feeling like it's already happened. That's been a process happening throughout this year. So staying plugged in to continue to hear the message and to bring other people into that message and to have it here, the framework has been incredible to have that throughout the year. And I think the other thing is a couple of my notes I wrote down was, which way are people leaning? Are they leaning towards you or away from you? And, that allows me to realize, am I sharing the vision that needs to be shared and in the way, that's meaningful to them? So is it speaking to them by using that, that all important why tool so that it creates a big enough picture? I think in pictures. So, your picture of the skyscraper and the doghouse and the McDonald's, those are the pictures that just keep speaking to me, that allow me to share how they can fit into this picture.
Awesome. Thank you. Dee.
Let me unmute here. Yes. So the first thing that came to mind for me was law of attraction, and getting a better sense of what that means. And I'm still taking that in. I'm not, fully there. I haven't mastered it by any means, but I'm aware of it, not just with my Nikan life, but my life in general. And that feels like an integrative, holistic desire of how I want to keep growing in that. And that's been very impactful for me in many areas. And the connection with the Spanish-speaking folks and the inspiration from them, and so that it is attuning me to keeping my sights and my ears and heart open to, okay, who am I meeting, as just in everyday life? And I am meeting people, and I'm making my list, to continue contacting them for what's happening in 2018. And then again, goes without saying, I think the community, the connectedness with you, Mike, Ben, the other leaders that we see face to face on the Zoom platform, or hearing each other's voices. It's ongoing learning. It's ongoing support. even the WhatsApp, the cheering each other on kind of thing, or the information that gets passed that just didn't exist. And, I'm in Chicago. There's millions of people here, but there hasn't been upline active and all of that. So I have felt like others have felt alone in a lot of ways. And this allows me not to feel that any longer. I feel connected to all of you, and I'm grateful.
Fantastic. Again, just another reason to ask others to be joining this. If this is that meaningful to you, and it has been for several of you on the call, then it's the difference between the ember going cold because it's isolated and alone versus staying warm close to the fire. And of course, that allows you to then ignite others. So very critical component of our business model is this platform, I think, especially this platform, because it does allow for us to be all over the place, yet connected online on a regular basis. And again, the video recordings of this, for somebody who's listening to the playback who missed the call, at least they get a sense of the community as well and what's here. And I think that's part of the what makes our business model so successful and so awesome in a day and age where more and more people have isolated, more and more people feel isolated, feel disenfranchised, to be able to say to them, no, there's a place that we call home. We gather up once a week from our own homes into one big home. And that's just a great way to bridge the gap, I think, in society that's caused a lot of people to lose hope. So we've got to keep this going and figure out ways to make it better. So if you've got some ideas you want to pass on to me as to how to make this call even more functional and more productive and more valuable, where people won't want to miss, then that'd be awesome.
We could play dress up every week.
We could. Okay, let's see. Elaine, now Mrs. Kramer just texted me, so I'm going to jump to her real quick, and then we'll come back to you, Elaine. Mrs. Kramer, you have a boulder of
I have not a golden nugget. I have a golden boulder.
A golden boulder.
And that is that with the explosion of the Spanish-speaking community, and I think it was on your call with, maybe it was Bernadette, with Veronica, or when Bernadette was subbing for you. In any case, the recognition of the importance of sensitivity to cultural differences has given me the permission to forge ahead in my own community that is so culturally different than most of the rest of the Nican culture. And I, with the tenacity and the stubbornness with which I've held on and not given up, now I feel like I have a new lease on life with this permission to forge ahead in my own community.
How brilliant.
That's my golden nugget that
That's
I'm going into
fantastic.
18.
You know what? That's fantastic. That's a huge point. And
it's a boulder.
I think it is, because it's not one shoe that fits all. And if we're going to have every home a wellness home, we have to respect that every home has its own cultural approach to the problem. And so we need emissaries. We need people who can relate to that group and the varied groups that there are out there. So I think this is huge. It's really important that there's proper representation of Nican in each of those diverse areas. And there needs to be a leader that takes it on in each case. So it's fantastic. Great point. And for those who are watching the playback, or those who are just brand spanking new, wondering, how do I fit in? Here's how you fit in. You're the leading edge of the wedge. You're the one who's going to take it to your market. We're going to help you and we're going to support that. But what we have you for and what we need you for and why you're here and what the opportunity that's here for you is to take it to your community, to take it to the people you represent, whether it's a culture, whether it's an age demographic, whether it's whatever the basis is that you tend to hang your hat on. bring NECAN into that environment, because the more people who have access to this, however they get it, is going to be part of our mission, the fulfillment of our mission. So great. Thank you for that. Let's get back to Elaine Matthews. What's your golden nugget for 2017? Here, I'll help you. I'll unmute you. One sec. Wait. Okay. You just muted yourself. Let me do it. I don't know why you're not unmuting. Elaine, you're not unmuting. There we go. Go ahead and say something.
Is that it? You got it?
We got it now. Okay.
Okay. Going last. All right. Going last. It's very difficult sometimes, but I love that 5 Pillars card. I use it a lot. It has helped me so much. I have a new young man that's come on board that's 26, a computer guy wanting to go back to college, and he really sees us and as a future for him to make some money while in college. And that's because of you, Mike, and all these leaders on this call, because I've learned so much this year. Just being on this call, learning, you coming to town, inspiring me to get a group of people together, stretching myself, pushing myself forward. Dennis Williams came, had to do it again. And I stretched and I pushed and I got more people there. And this last call that we just had, I invited him to come because I was afraid I wouldn't know how to do all this internet. Would you come and help me? I picked him up. I got him there. And now he joined and he's so excited. Thank you, Mike, from the bottom of my heart.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you, Elaine. Thanks for that golden nugget. I see Leo. Neela May, you there? What's your golden nugget for 2017? I'm sorry, not Leo, Charles. I keep confusing Charles and Leo. Charles LeMay, not Leo LeMay. Charles, sorry about that.
I was going to answer to the.
Yeah, you get the same last name, so it's always and you're both from Quebec, so it's very confusing. So.
Yeah. For me, I guess it's gratefulness, like Cheryl has said. I spent a year really lost, trying to find myself, trying to find out where I fit in. As you know, I moved from Winnipeg to Quebec to a complete different culture, so I didn't know how to fit it in. But with the tools that I've been getting and the collaboration for everybody and the sharing of ideas, I finally learned to ask for help. That's something that's been very difficult for me because I used to run my own business and I used to never have to ask for help. I had to be giving the help all the time. So with your help, I now know how to ask for help and sharing the vision. My vision has always been, I'm going to do it and I'm going to show everybody and I'm going to be good and everything else. And it just has not worked for me. So being aware of the law of attraction and being aware of knowing that if you don't ask for help, then it's not a collaborative affair. It's a one-way street. And it's got to be a win-win situation for everybody. And that's my nugget for this year. Just learning that it's got to be a win-win situation for everybody. And I thank you, Mike, for showing us that. And for me, it's been a year of learning.
Fantastic. Wow. Thank you. And I can't wait to see what comes from all of that in 2018, because application is going to be where that is going to really show itself. Carol, what's your golden nugget for 2017?
Well, I just feel it's the environment. When creating the environment of well-being and the beauty in every single person. And for me, it's the depth, the spiritual depth. And in terms of the law of attraction, connecting it with my roots as a pastor and just totally expanding. And just, I'm in Georgia now, and I just came off the airplane. So, but the whole power of being the different cultures and relating and the building the understanding. But when you came to Milwaukee, to have the upline, to have you become part of the upline, but the power of your spiritual leadership and the stature and the joy and the culture, but the stature of holding state, of really being I think a great spiritual leader, connects me with my roots as pastor. And I'm really looking forward to 18, because for me, the most growth has been with my mind and the subconscious and the intentional. It's hard work for me to keep bringing being mindful of what I'm thinking and knowing that what I'm thinking is what I'm creating. And just on the drive here from Atlanta, which I almost fell asleep a couple times, but all of a sudden I'm just alive, and I'm just I have a whole lot of bills that have come up, and you know what hit me was, I'm going to make a lot of money this year, because instead of it being like, oh my God, because it can be scary, but I've just chosen not to just substitute that. And all of a sudden it just came alive in me, like, that means I'm going to make a lot of money this year. So whole shift of consciousness, but it's the environment and it's all the beautiful people. And I agree with Mrs. Kramer. My whole passion is building bridges of understanding among cultures and seeing the beauty, in people and creating environments of well-being. So I'm totally psyched about it. And I'm very grateful for the whole community and it's just fun.
Fantastic.
So,
wow. Okay.
yeah.
Awesome. I love the fact that you kept emphasizing environments of well-being. I'm going to write that down exactly that way. Excuse me for a second. Environments of well-being. Because right now we are wordsmithing everything, and every word matters. And, we may have to go through a couple of iterations of this PowerPoint before we're settled on it, but these are all great words. Environments of well-being. That's essentially what the Wellness Home is. It's an environment of well-being. And of course you can create that elsewhere. Let's see, who did I miss? I've got Dan Brock. I'm going to unmute you. Dan, you've been on these calls. What's your golden nugget for 2017? Hello, Dan. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I didn't know I wasn't muted.
You're unmuted now.
I am really trying to, not trying, I don't like that word try. I'm getting into the mindset of using the nuggets from the collaborative business building that's going on here, because it's been a long time without any any resource to go to, kind of hanging out here alone. And so it's fabulous to be a part of a group of entrepreneurs, business builders, and to be able to draw from that and hopefully being able to contribute a few things. So I'm just looking forward to 2018 as having launched in 17. Let's go get it and make it happen in 18.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Dan. Now, I've got a number here. I can't tell who it is. It's 510-323-3826. You're unmuted. Who is that?
Hello, yes. Hi, Mike DiMuccio. This is Karen Rose Matthews. I'm in the Bay Area of San Francisco.
Well, hello there. Karen, have you been
Hello
on these
there.
calls? What is your golden nugget for 2017? What have you picked up from all of it?
I was just saying golden nugget. I love the golden boulder as well. I love the golden boulder rolling everything out. I haven't been on these calls regularly, so I am just so excited about 2018, and I agree with everyone there that the calls, the environment that's been created. I like what she said about environments of well-being, and I made a note about that as well. I like that. I like the fact that we're spiritual leaders, and I like the fact that we have, diversity. People, excuse me, people that come from different backgrounds. My background is I'm a yoga teacher, I'm a horseback rider, so I'm in a lot of different areas where people come from many different backgrounds and very, very different approaches to how they might do this and look at this. And just opening that door, learning how to open that door and really listen to people more, learning to listen more. And I'm excited about 2018. I think it's going to be fabulous. And this has been a great year of transition. And so I really admire the people who've stayed with this and the leadership that have just developed this over the last year. I love the cards. I'm using I use a lot of the water cards, and I'm going to get some of the other ones as well. I think they're very useful. There's tools. I like the tools as well. Somebody mentioned the tools. I think the tools are great. The calls are great. Just plugging into this environment is so wonderful, especially now with the culture, the challenges in our culture. To be with the spirit of community like this is just, it's joyful. So.
Fantastic. Wow. Well, thank you for that. Thank you all for giving us these wonderful golden nuggets. I hope you share this message with your teams. I'm certainly going to do it. Great message from all of you, all very, very salient points. So let's just leave it on that note that it's been a wonderful 2017. It's been a tremendous growing experience. We've learned, we've applied, we've relearned, we've gained access to community tools, a way of thinking, an application of the law so that we can start to see that, in fact, we are creating our destiny. And now with all of that in hand and enough little experience of that through 2017, turning all our attention to 2018 and say, okay, what do I want to create in 2018? That point about reaching into the hearts and souls of people and not asking them to fit into a square peg. We're not asking anybody to do that when we're asking them to join NECAN. We're asking them to be the what's the word? The anchor for the next generation. We're asking them to be that pinnacle person to represent a new movement in NECAN. So it's not about join our cult because everything here is so wonderful. That's not what this is. This is about join our movement because we need to get it out to more people, and you have a certain way of doing that that's unique. And
Be a nucleus for a new beginning.
Perfect. So it's a wonderful idea because now that creates expansion. Now this is about looking at the value that someone brings to the situation and the possibilities that they bring to the situation to help us reach into the community. That's what I love about this focus for myself and the Spanish-speaking market is because it's a prototype, it's a template, it's an opportunity for me to see how to really move into a community that governs itself in a very particular way with people that will lead that movement, to inspire a movement within a movement, so to speak, and see that take off. And then you can take that idea and say, okay, well, who's next? What city's next? And so forth. And that way we are creating reach out campaigns, ways to reach into the world, reach into the communities, and make a bigger impact. Rather than saying, hey, everybody, look at us and join us and come to us, we're saying, no, we want to come to you and we want to expand through you to reach more people. That's our objective.
I like
it's
that.
a different way of seeing it. And I think it's a much more expansive way of seeing it. And with the application of this going into 2018, I think we're going to see, mark my words, you're hearing it today, exponential growth. Exponential growth in 2018. So that's what I'm expecting. I hope you expect that right along with me so you can help me co-create it. What do you say?
Yes. Yes.
Fantastic. Well, for all of you who are celebrating one holiday or another, whether it's Hanukkah, whether it's Christmas, I guess I'm not sure what other holidays there are at this time, but I'm sure there's somebody celebrating some or something.
Solstice.
Solstice, okay, solstice and
Kwanzaa.
Kwanzaa, that's right, Festival of Lights. So it's a time for celebration wherever you are. It's a time for us to remind ourselves of how grateful we are for the life that we have, the year that we've had, the people that we have in it, and to look forward to a new year, a new promise. Make some commitments, make some goals, make them bold. You deserve nothing but the best, and I mean that sincerely. So thanks for joining me in 2017, and we look forward to reacquainting ourselves with the new ambitions of 2018. Have a great holiday season, everyone.
Merry
Amen.
Christmas to you,
Yeah.
Mike.
Holidays,
Family.
Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Yes.
Christmas.
Love, love, love.